Welcome back to the channel Shamina Sarfuddin and myself Shamina, head and associate professor from the Department of Biochemistry, Ratnavale Subramaniam College of Arts and Science, Coimbatore, India. Here in this video we are going to see another video which emphasizes the importance of immunology. Yes, the most interesting subject in the biological sciences, the immunology. The topic that we are going to emphasize here is allergy and hypersensitivity. So when an antigen enter into your the body starts to respond by showing the immunological response to it. So thereby, if there is an abruption, it indicates either the allergy or the term defined as hypersensitivity. Thereby, when you define the allergy of hypersensitivity, it usually occurs when the body's immune system reacts in an exaggerated or inappropriate way to the substances that are in the environment that would not normally cause inflammation and disease, and thereby leads to some abnormal conditions in your body, leading to the consequences. Looking into the terminology of hypersensitivity. So to define about the hypersensitivity, it is looked into as an increased reactivity, or we can say it as increased sensitivity. Look at the difference between the two words, increased reactivity or sometimes increased sensitivity. So when an antigen, when it enters, the body can react, or else the body cells can become sensitized by the animal body to an antigen by which it has been previously exposed to. And we should know that the term is often a synonym of allergy, which describes a state of altered reactivity to an antigen. So both allergy and hypersensitivity, they go hand in hand. So hypersensitivity has been divided into categories based upon whether it can be passively transferred by the antibodies or specifically immune lymphoid cells. So how could it be transferred from the outside environment into our body? That is also more to deal with what type of hypersensitivity it is. And the most adopted current classification is that given by Coombs that designates that the immunoglobulin mediated, which we call it as immediate hypersensitivity reaction, as type 1, 2 and 3, and the lymphoid cell mediated cell, which we generally call it as delayed type of hypersensitivity. It could be often cell mediated too, which we call it as type 4 hypersensitivity reaction. To generally speaking, it is the dark side, signifying the undesirable aspects of immune reactions, whereas the term immunity implies to desirable effect. A hypersensitivity response is an antipathogenic response. In plants, it can be, as sometimes could be an activation where there could be some alterations in the calcium ion flux and thereby altering the functions. And there is a rapid necrosis of plant cells sometimes which takes place when the plant is being in contact with the pathogens. So the process prevents the spread of the pathogens and the release of the hydrolytic enzymes that could facilitate the injury of the pathogen to cause the cellular integrity. So the mechanism that is being dealt out, whether it is in plants or animals, it might lead to a series of reactions which could be the consequence of the immunological reaction, which is generally categorized as allergy or hypersensitivity reaction. Looking into the cause of hypersensitivity, the immune response, that which cause the hypersensitivity diseases, may be specific for antigen from very different resources, mainly from autoimmunity and the way it reacts to the microbes, and also the way the reaction occurs against the non-microbial environmental antigens. And what actually causes allergy and hypersensitivity? It is being caused by the abnormalities in the regulation of the immune system. So our immunological system is disrupted. That is why we are getting either the allergy or we call the terminology as hypersensitivity. In some cases, the immune system produces a kind of immunoglobulin, which we normally call as antibodies, mainly the type IgE. This is the commonest kind of allergy causing antibody. When the IgE is not involved, these kinds of reactions, that is allergy kind of reactions, are sometimes referred to as hypersensitivities. Unfortunately, the term allergy and the hypersensitivity are commonly used interchangeably, which is confusing for us. Of course, the mechanism involves the procedure of IgE, which mainly targets the substances that it goes to act upon, which we call it as allergens. For example, be breathed in. This can include pollens, the dust that is present in your houses, the mites, mold, or skin, hair, or saliva from the cats, or the dogs, or the rodents, or the horses. The next I can say the physiological example is be eaten. This includes the things that you have such as milk, egg, fish, shellfish, nuts, cereals, or fruit. Otherwise, when you come in contact with, for example, your skin has been exposed to some dust or when you handle certain things without the gloves. Sometimes we often be injected into our body. This can include the medicines or the medications that you take, like drugs, such as antibiotics, anesthetic drugs, or sometimes even the venom from the snake when it is being instantly ingested into your body. Unfortunately, it happens. So these are all some mechanical reactions that which happen, which could be a causage of causing either allergy or hypersensitivity. And the allergic reactions can be relatively mild, such as a hay fever reaction which happens due to the pollen incidence into your body. Or sometimes it could be very strong, which might cause a life-threatening reaction, which we call it as anaphylaxis. So hypersensitivity on the both way. Either it could be a light reaction or it can be even a life-threatening reaction. Looking at the signs of hypersensitivity. So what are the general signs that we indicate this particular thing is an allergic reaction to us? It mainly includes sneezing, troublesome in breathing, how the skin reacts to the microbes, sometimes even swelling, and also sensitivity to certain types of foods. Looking into detail about the sneezing, it may include either the sneezing, a runny nose, or the runny eyes. This is being caused because of the inflammation in the nose, referred to as rhinitis, or when it affects the eyes, it is called conjunctivitis. So, this could be a sign of hypersensitivity. Trouble in breathing. When there is a trouble in breathing with a cough, wheezing, and breathlessness, such as in asthma, this is being caused by the inflammation of the airways. Coming to the skin reactions, such as eczema or hives. It is a raised red itchy rash, which we commonly called as urticaria, and this is termed as skin reactions. And swelling of the deeper layers of the skin, which has been caused by buildup of fluid, which is also called as angioedema. So, at last, when there is a sensitivity to specific food, which might lead to stomach pain and vomiting, these are also termed as the signs of allergic reactions. One particular type of hypersensitivity that can occur in primary immunodeficiency patients. It is a reaction of the blood products. This can be significant for a small number of patients when they have been treated with the antibodies, that is the immunoglobulins, particularly intravenous immunoglobulin products. So hypersensitivity, the stages, it could be sensitization. Initially, it could be asymptomatic when it first encounter with the antigen. Later, it can become into a symptomatic type. And the effect could be harmful immune response following sensitization and other consequences. And also, we also have different types of hypersensitivity reaction. The reactions can be classified into 4 major categories as type 1, type 2, 3 and 4. So looking at the pathophysiology, the IgE antibodies that have been coating with the mast cells or the basophil cells could bring a lot of degranulation process, thereby histamines or the inflammatory mediators start to release inside your system. And similarly, type 2, it could be cytotoxic in nature. Type 3, it could be immune complex mediated type of hypersensitivity. And type 4, which is a specific type, it's about the delayed type of hypersensitivity, mainly triggered by the T cells. So we do have a lot of thinking about with how the hypersensitivity could have been produced or the term allergy could have confusions of a lot of words like what is about, how it is specific for the children, how it is going good for the adults, whether the food we eat or sometimes the seafood could be an allergy to us. The grains could also be some allergy specific for us. And let we have a lot of doubts in finding out what could be the term, the specific for the allergy that has been caused to us, whether it could be a vomiting. Sometimes it can be other consequences which could cause a serious illness in your body. So these type of things we have thinking about how it could be rectified, how the things are causing within us. The study began, and its this detailed research about the types of immunity actually happens with respect to the type of allergies that cause within our body. And in the forthcoming sessions, we could go in detail about the type of hypersensitivity and how it is being caused within us. And thank you.